the stream. And welcome. We're gonna let people join here if anybody's on. I don't know if anybody is just yet. I'm getting there. Oh, I just hit it, so it might need to refresh or might need to join. I just found it. All right, I posted the link. We'll give people a few minutes to see that and check in. If you are here and you can hear me, all right, go ahead and just type your name in the chat so we know who is here. And if you have any questions to start out before we get going, you can go ahead and put those there as well. Is my voice coming through all right? I wonder. Can turn up my volume here. Perfect. I did. Yep. Hey, Jacob. Yep, I got you. And Jacob put his name in there, so he's coming through. We're just giving people a chance to get on and check it out. Or get on and, we'll be able to join here. So they can go back and watch it to review. But well, good you're here, Jacob. Because Jacob messaged me today, Tom, and he's going to be my back judge for Sterling. Yeah. So we're going to start out with some back judge stuff, Jacob. And should be a good time. Just what I wanted to go through with some of this stuff is just kind of what I wanted to know, what I would have liked to know a little bit better, to feel a little bit better going into my first game. I think I was as prepared as I could have been, but you don't know what you don't know, and there's just little things that people do and people say, and where I should go stand up because you're reading, no matter how much you read the rule book, you're drinking out of a fire hose at that point, so you're bound to forget something. So the more guys can go over it and go through it and be like, okay, this is what I should focus on. This is where I stand in pregame. This is what what a starburst means, and this is what a normal, a Friday night looks like. I think helps tremendously. So what Tom and I wanted to do here is kind of start by going over pregame stuff about what we could do leading up to a game to make yourself feel more comfortable, and or what we do compared to what other people might do, because Tom and I steal all of the stuff we do from everybody else. So we just hear, we hear bits and pieces of what this person might do and this person might do, and just mold it to what makes sense for us. Does that sound true, Tom? You not had an original thought, have you? Okay, so leading up to a game, Tom, what do you think, leading up to week 1, what do you think is important for somebody who's never worked a varsity Friday night game? What's the first thing you think they should do? Let's just say like a back judge. I can't hear Tom on my end. Let's see. No, I can hear you just fine, Tom. So it must be my side. Good thing Tom just echoed what I said. It's fine, Jacob. No, I'll get him. I'll see if I can get him on here. Let's see. Bear with me. Let's see here. What do I call these speakers? All right, Tom, can you... Well, hold on. Why is my desktop audio not coming through? Oh, there it is. Tom, can you say something for me?
Yeah, how's that?
Perfect. Let's give it a second because there's a slight delay and see if anybody can tell me if they heard Tom. Hopefully they can hear him. I got the desktop audio on now. Tom, maybe say some more stuff here. What? Okay. Can you reiterate exactly what you said, maybe?
To answer your question, I'd start with mechanics. Have an idea of your position, where you line up, where you're looking for, and of course, rules knowledge is constant. We're always studying the rules. We meet about the rules. We have, it's just endless. The rule study, a good basic knowledge of the rules. You don't have to know every nuance right away. You'll figure it out. I would start with mechanics. Know where to line up and know what you're looking for.
So, thanks, James. He does say he hears you loud and clear now, Tom.
Okay.
That's good. So mechanics. So you want to look at, like, for going into my first game, I wanted to look at, I don't need to look at all of the positions and know all the mechanics. If I'm going in as umpires, what my first one was, I didn't study any other position other than umpire. So I got on and I wanted to know, or looked in the mechanics rule, about where I should stand, what I should be looking at. What do I do on a pass? What do I do on a run? And how do I put the ball down? And just all that stuff was I just hyper focused on one spot, on my spot. So if you're coming in as a back judge, right, you want to come in and go off of where do I line up on a kick, and what do I look for on a kick, and then I want to know the play clock, right? The 40-25 is really important for the back judge to know. Wouldn't you say, Tom? That's probably the number one rule for
absolutely.
A back judge. So
absolutely, you have to own that. You have to own control of the clock, control of the play clock. That's it. You're it. You're the person that the crew's depending on to know the clock.
Perfect. And let's get right into that, Tom. And this field I have up. So when we come out for a pregame, Tom, what do you what do we do? We come out and we all come together. We all come out of the locker room together, I should say, and we go and meet with the home coach. And what are we looking for from that home coach? What do you ask him?
And that's one of the things I tried to work on last year, and I'm going to continue. I don't want to just make it a checklist of everybody equipped. Who's calling timeouts? I want to make it more conversational. And if I can get him to start, some of these guys like to talk, some of them don't. I like everybody on our crew to participate. Some crews don't do that. And if you guys are fill-ins, it might be different from crew to crew. But basically, I cover the same things with all the coaches. Introduce our guys. We have a card with the names and everything on there. And just basically let him get a feel for us. Ask any questions if he wants to, but try to get him familiar with our crew. And I really like everybody to contribute. I really like everybody to introduce themselves and say good luck or whatever you have to say.
So I will piggyback on that and say when my first few times going out there, kind of what I do now is I try not to say too much. I try to let my referee do all the talking. But I try to have one thing that I kind of, as an umpire, I got to check. It's my responsibility to check casts and splints or whatever the case may be, right? I'm just going to go over and make sure they're covered up with pad or they're not going to, if it hit another opponent, say in the arm or something, it's not going to scrape them, cut them, anything of that nature, or harm themselves by getting hit, right? We want them to protect themselves as well. So I always look for you, Tom, to finish talking and going through your stuff. And I think you do a good job at looking at us and going, do you guys have anything to add? And I'm able to, if you didn't catch up on casts or splints, I say, do you have somebody with any casts or splints? And then, or if you did ask that question, I write that number down, say, oh, it's number 78, it's got his left wrist, right? So I'll write 78 down and go, hey, just to prove I was listening, I say, Coach, that was number 78 on your offensive line, right? And he goes, yes, great. I say, great, I'll talk to him after I'm done talking to the other coach, or I'll come over and visit him here in just a minute. So I try to just not say very much unless I have like one specific thing I'm looking for. So like, is Tom, and is it still the line judge's responsibility or whomever to get the ball, check the balls? I forget who that is now. Anymore. Do you remember?
Yeah, I'd have to look. I think that's right, but that's one of those things I have to review before we go.
Yeah, but essentially we have somebody who wants to check the air in the ball. So whether it's we don't take a gauge out there. We don't do anything like that. We just essentially go over and squeeze the ball and feel like, does it feel like a normal football? Is it too aired up, not aired up enough? Then we'll tell the coach at the end of that meeting as well, hey, Coach, Tyler's going to go look at your game balls here when we're done, where or who might have them. And then, we all say good luck, and then we move over to the visiting coach. Same process, same, we don't treat him any different. And then we go, we walk the field before or after that, Tom? I forget. We switch it up sometimes because of stuff going on pregame. So before that, we should have walked the field, right? Technically.
Yeah, supposedly you walk the field first. I like to get the coaches when I can get them. Sometimes they'll leave. Sometimes they'll go down to the locker room. And we typically get out there. The manual says half an hour. We try to get out there 40 minutes early, have our conversation with both coaches, walk the field, and we split up in groups of 3. I think it's umpire, back judge, and linesman.
Oh, okay.
Go with Tyler.
Yep.
Yeah. And we just go opposite ways. Looking for any obvious things. Is there a gopher hole at the 30-yard line that we might need patched up? Are the pylons in the right place?
We check the padding on the goalpost. We kind of, if it's not a turf field and it's a grass field, you kind of see how well the lines are painted and if we need to say anything. I walk the first 10, like try to figure out if it's about 10 yards, if we got it, anything weird. But those markers on the sideline, we move those back into the track, get them way out of there. We don't need them. But that's just to make sure our playing surface is safe, right? Because our big reason is looking for holes and looking for objects in the grass, all that kind of stuff. So after that, and the teams are warming up, Tom, we meet back on the other side. We go and take reps, right? So,
I will go and talk to the timekeeper.
Oh, you go and talk to the timekeeper, okay.
And I normally take the back judge along with me.
Okay.
And just because the back judge is the most concerned with the clock, I make sure that the timer knows, who he's looking at, because basically the back judge and I, the referee, one of us is going to be facing the clock all the time. And the timer, I like him to know who I've got the same thing I go over with the timers and back judge if they have anything to add, mainly on some of these small school fields like the Sterlings and the High Plains of the world, the places we go, Lions, Decatur, and all of that. You just want to ask that timer, can you see us okay? You have a blind spot. Is there a spot in the press box you can't maybe see the corner down here by the pylon? I need to step out when I'm starting the clock. And just things like that. But I like the back judge to come along just in case he has anything to add, or if he has any questions.
Yeah, good point. And then when we get back into the field, we check cast splints, we check the game balls. Tom, what we started doing a couple of years ago, which is okay with Nate, is we go and take some snaps. So if each team is warming up on their respective end of the field, so either, down in where they're down in over here, whatever over here, we'll go over to one side or the other, and I'll just get right in their drill. I just kind of, as the umpire, I'll just jog right into their drill, into my position. And then if they ask if something's wrong, I just say, nope, I'm just warming up like you guys, right? We're a team, we practice. And so I try to count as many snaps as I take over there. I try to count if I got 5 or if I took 10. And and then when I'm done over there, I'll jog to the other side, and I will try to do my best to take the exact same amount of snaps on both sides, so it doesn't look like I'm favoring one over the other. And because I don't care who wins, I don't care what it is. I just want to get my reps in, but I want the appearance of what it should look like. And then Tom, before we get in what you do, James wants to know what we would do if the lines were not correctly marked. So, James, correctly marked, like if you get into the book and it says they need to be 4 inches from the sideline and X number of inches wide, or whatever the case, you don't do anything, you just play it. We can, if it's egregious, we can tell the referee, and then we can relay that to Sean, or email Nate Newhouse. But you're gonna play the game regardless on that. If there's something that I can't think of, but like it's so egregious that you cannot play, that's why we're out there that early, and that's one of the first things we do is walk the field. And we'll have them take care of it, that if it's something that for some reason we cannot play. But I don't know of anything that I've ever seen, Tom, and you've been doing this a lot longer than I have. Have you ever seen a field so mismarked that you couldn't play?
The closest thing that I've ever seen, and it was a second round playoff game, it was an 8-man team, and they were playing on the 11-man field of the high school in their town. There were no hash marks. They had just the 11-man hash marks, which are like a big step from the sideline. Yeah, they didn't mark the 8-man the word didn't get down to the groundskeeper or whoever. And we're talking to the coach, and it's a guy that's been very successful, and he's about to lose his mind. Said, Coach, we're going to line him up on the pylon. We'll do the best we can. That's the only time I've ever seen a field that was not marked properly.
Yeah, so in that case, we just found a solution, James, and we just played. It is, it'll be the same for both teams. They're both going to understand, hey, we're putting the ball here. It might not, it's clearly not going to be on the hash mark. The hardest part for me is as the umpire, is having the hashes not correct, and then remembering to not put it on the hash, put it inside. I got to go from the sideline and move in, but yeah, you're essentially just going to notate it. And then give that information, because you're not. It's like having the miscolored jerseys or whatnot that are coming. You know, if they have a wrong colored jersey or something, we're still playing the game. We're just going to let the administrators take care of that part later. Good question, Tom. So when I described what I did when I take snaps, do you do about the same, or do you do anything different?
Well, when we come back down from, normally we'll go up and meet the timer if he's up there, or he'll come down whenever, whatever. I try to find the trainer, introduce myself to the trainer. Maybe there's two of them. Just reiterate his or her function, saying, hey, if you see something, that's going to impact player safety, I tell them the wing official will be on their sideline. You tell that person we'll shut it down and it's your baby. After that, I'll introduce myself to the quarterback, and I will have, because of our film study, I'll know his name. I'll know if he's left or right-handed. I like to come up and say, hey, John, man, you nailed it last week against, whoever, and kind of look at you like, oh, wow. And just kind of reiterate, what my role is, make sure he understands how to legally ground the ball, and try to establish that relationship that can really come in handy later in the game if we have somebody acting up and say, John, 52, can you take care of him so I don't have to? But I do definitely introduce myself to the quarterback and go over their role. And then, like you say, Zach, I'll watch some snaps.
Perfect. So then, Tom, we go and do, after you're done taking snaps and as you're waiting for teams to finish warming up and as we wait for the national anthem, we have designated spots we should be around. What are those spots, Tom?
On the press box side, let's see, it's myself and the head linesman are on an 11-man field, it'd be the 45. Okay. Across the field, I think the umpire's at the 50, yep. The back judge is at 140, and the line judge is at the other 40. And so as long as the teams are out, we stand there, normally parade rest, with your hands behind your back. You don't have your arms crossed or your hands in your pocket or anything like that. We used to have to stand there forever, but now the longer that we take reps, the less we have to just stand there like a statue.
Mm-hmm. And then, so we just stay on our sideline, right? And for the national anthem, that's where.
Yeah, just move out of the way of the team box.
Yep.
We just move up.
We either move to one side or the other. We all kind of, like, us three on one side get together and the other two on the other side get together. National anthem goes, and then we meet in the middle, right, Tom? So we come out here, yep. we get into our last circle with about the last minute or so, and we talk about, everybody's different, but we try to make sure we're all on the same page. We all remember, give last minute encouragement. So, like, hey, slow down, take a deep breath. This is fun. Let's enjoy this. Let's enjoy Friday Night Lights. The whole, in most of our cases, the whole town's there, right? So let's go out and just let the kids play and just get involved when we need to get involved. And then we do what's called a starburst. And we break out into our positions. So in this case, the back judge would run to the 40, right, of the opposite of the press box side. The umpire will come down to the 50 this year in the new mechanic on the press box side. And then our referee heads down to the middle of the end zone, right? I think you're right in here. And then our two wings, who's on the top? It would be H or L. One of the wings, I guess if you're switching, could be L. One of the wings is going to head down to the pylon. The other wing is going to head down to the pylon. Traditionally, it should be the H. If we're not switching, the H should be up top. The LJ should be on the bottom.
That H will be on the chain side after the press box.
Yep.
When you do the starburst, and everybody does it different, we say what we say. Make sure you know which way you're kicking.
Yep.
Because you don't want to fire out of that starburst and sprint hard 15 yards and you're going the wrong way. Now you got to turn around and run back.
Yeah. So
start out that way.
when we do our circle, Tom, we try to put you so you turn around and run the way you're going to run, right? We put you already that way, and I try to face which way I'm going to go, so we all kind of are headed that direction. So because we have ran the wrong direction, and then it looks just silly because we're like, oh shoot, we need to be on the other side. So the umpire this year will be dummy proof. We just go to the 50. So, but everybody else needs to remember where we're going here. So Tom, when the back judge gets over here, he goes over and he gets the ball, and actually he starts right in the middle, right? Or inside the hashes. And we look for the ball coming out. We get him a ball. He could grab that pregame as before we run out, but if he doesn't, we wait for a ball. And then we wait for the kicker to, as a back judge, you wait for the kicker to come out and get set up, put his tee down, and then you kind of hand him the ball, say, hey man, hey, you ready to go? Are you guys kicking it deep? Or are you doing something funny? And we don't say it too loud, but we just, say, hey, are you onside kicking? And if he tells you no, we're going deep, or he kind of gives you we're doing it onside kick. You have a kind of a clue, and you set something up pregame with your guys, all your crew, about what you might say or what you might do if it's an onside kick, that like a surprise onside kick. So we're going to talk just deep kick here. We'll talk on. I'll briefly touch on that in just a second. So say he goes, yep, I'm going deep. Back judge, we're going to hand him the ball. We're going to jog off to the side, our sideline, opposite press box side, and then we're going to go back 5 yards and look down the line and make sure nobody's back behind the 45. They have to be inside the line, not over the line. And then you walk back to the 50, and everybody puts their hand up to signal they're ready. And our crew, you have to have a beanbag in your hand when you do it. So our crew puts the beanbag in the hand that you put up because we want the evaluator to see it. I've had it described to me, if they have it in their offhand, the evaluator he goes, they might have had it in their offhand, I just didn't see it. So we try to put it in our up hand that we put down, but then with your other hand, you go over your O2 over your radio, and I'll tell Tom, like, hey, 17 is ready to kick. So I give the kicker's number. So that way, if we have a kick out of bounds, or we know who the eligible kicker is, right? Which leads us into what do our fouls we look for here, Tom? What is the back judge primary responsibilities once he gets over there? What are his fouls he is looking for?
Okay, the first thing, back judge, give the kicker the ball. And you don't have to recite a speech. You good? We ready? Yeah. Okay. Just like Zach said about onside kick information, sprint off and go back to the 35, because the kicking team can only have one player behind the 35. So if you look at, I guess you can't see that screen, that's mine, but you go back and you look at that line, those players have to have a foot beyond the line, ahead of the line, the direction they're going to kick. They can go 5 yards back. So after you have determined that, then you'll go up to the kick line, you'll go up to the 40, put your hand up. And back judge, when you put your hand up, we're good to go. Everybody else has indicated we're ready. We've counted and everything. Oh, yeah, back judge, you and the umpire will count the kicking team. Make sure there's 6, 8, or 11, whatever you're supposed to have. Back judge, when you come back up to the 40, put your hand up, it's go time. Immediately, I'm going to hammer it in. I'm going to blow the ready, and then we're good to go. What you need to know, and we asked him to announce it on the 020, the player who is behind more than 5 yards back is the only player that can legally kick. And we want you to announce that. Now, it's 88's the legal kicker. So I think Zach mentioned it earlier. If he jogs up and stops and somebody else comes over and tries to kick it onside, you've got that responsibility. You got to shut that down. Okay? you got to shut that down. That's a free kick infraction. So you're on the kick line, you're on the 40, you're watching for offside. You're watching for any of the kicking team who, if assuming the ball's legally kicked, any of the kicking team who gets ahead of the 40 before the ball is kicked. And the threshold for that is pretty good. I mean, don't be super picky. If you have a kid that's like maybe a half step over, tell the coach, coach, 24 is a little quick. Let's make sure that he's not offside, because the last thing we want to do is shut down a kick and do it over again. Now we got to line everybody up. Now we got to go through it all again. If it's a critical situation, if it's late in the game, if they might onside kick, if it's a close score and the kick is a critical part of it, yeah, if he's over, then shut it down right away. But if it's just a normal kickoff and you can prevent it by telling them, I'd rather have him do that.
Yeah, I agree with that. And then, so did you touch on pop-up kick?
Yeah, that's also backup judge's responsibility. A pop-up kick is a kick that is driven immediately into the ground, bounces up in the air. And the reason they do that is it's a form of an onside kick or a pooch kick. If the ball has hit the ground, the defense can't fair catch the ball. So if you have that thing up in the air, now you have a defensive player looking up at it. He's essentially a helpless player. We talked a little bit that at one of our rules discussions. So it's a safety issue.
Yep.
If that ball goes directly into the ground, pops up higher than a player's head, that's a pop-up kick and it's illegal.
Mm-hmm.
You shut that down immediately.
And that's one of those where we talk philosophies of, is this holding? We want to err on the side of, if you think it is, it's probably not. But on this one is it a pop-up kick? Let's go ahead and shut that down, because we don't want, it's a safety foul. We don't want somebody getting hurt. We don't want the R's with their head up into the sky and then just get drilled. So it's a safety foul. If you think it's up high enough and you think maybe it rolled and then popped, if it rolls then pops, it's good. But if it directly into the ground and you're like, wait, was that a pop-up kick? I think that was a pop-up kick. Let's just shut it down, talk about it, and then if we have to reset, we'll reset. But it's better to reset than send a kid to the hospital.
And it happens so infrequently that it can blow up on you.
Yeah, it does. It happens so quick. It can, and it doesn't happen very often. But it's good to know it's a safety foul. We got to get those. So let's move over to umpire, Tom. The umpire this year is moving up to the 50-yard line on the press box side. He is taking the restraining line. And it is my job, or the umpire job, to make sure the returners are not over that line. They're behind the line, just as the kickers were. And that they don't run up. They can run up inside that restricted area after the ball's kicked. They can run up. They just can't initiate a block. So if they run up with arms up and they look like they're getting ready to block somebody, that we want to get that as a foul. But after the kick happens, they run back. If it's a deep kick, nobody's running up, right? So we want to. The back judge wants to come in here at an angle. And then after everybody passes you as the umpire, you want to come in and you have your half of the field. So you and the back judge essentially split the field, and you just kind of zone watch. You're both zoning your half of the field. I hope that makes sense.
Umpire has got the critical probably thing to look out for is first touching. If it is an onside kick, if the kicking team touches the ball before it's got 10 yards, that's why you have a beanbag in your hand.
Yep.
You've got to bag that first touching.
Yep.
Because the offense will get the ball at that point. Now, if it's gone beyond the line, you bag that as well, where the defense touches the ball. Then if the kick has gone beyond the line, or if the receiving team touches it, now the kickers can recover. But it's absolutely critical to know where that first touching took place.
Yep. And what I forgot to mention also, Tom, is both the kicker and the umpire. You're not signaling to say you did it, but umpire and back judge are both going to count the kickers, just to make sure you have. The umpire's got a good amount of time to count the kickers, so that's a big responsibility to make sure make sure they have 11, they don't have more. And so, which leads me to here, Tom, which makes these hash marks make it nice and easy. Your wingers, let's start with the wings, Tom. What is their responsibility? They count the returners, correct? We want to get 11.
Yeah, Zach, did you get? There's a message that says this call ends in 14 minutes.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, it's because it's a free call. So when that happens, I can probably start one up because I've
the stream will be the stream will be fine.
We have to take a little break. If we have to take a little break,
okay. Let's finish this and then we'll take a small break and then we'll move over to film.
Okay. New mechanic this year is we've got the wings on the pylons. The linesman is on the pylon with the on chain side. Line judge is on the opposite. They're on the goal line. Referee's in the middle. And the wings essentially have the goal line to the 25 on their return. If it's a touchback, it's just broken up in thirds. Each of those guys back there on the goal line has a third. Any of the three can signal a touchback if it breaks the plane of the goal line. The covering official, the ball's caught, say it's in the middle here, then the referee would wind the clock. Okay, you're looking at blocks ahead of the ball in your third of the field. Try to catch that first guy down. We've got some stuff on film that's a pretty good look. Okay, look for anybody who is in chase mode, and we'll talk about that in a second. Anybody who is swimming upstream, anybody that's going opposite the flow of the play is probably up to no good. So once the ball's down, once we have that whistle, the mechanic is all the officials kill the clock.
Yep.
The covering official will wind it. The mechanic is all of the officials will signal to stop it.
Yep. And if you're not the one that sees the brown on the ground, if you're not the one that goes, yep, we're down on the 20-yard line, whatever the case may be. If that person initially puts their hands up to stop the clock, everyone else should just copy, essentially, just because we want to make sure we are good clock officials and stopping the clock, and somebody look at the clock to make sure it does stop, and to make sure we're where we should be time wise.
One thing, just briefly, a couple more points on that, Zach. One thing I saw that I'm going to encourage our crew to do is have the back judge verbalize the time on the clock every time we stop it. I know that Reed's going to get tired of that, but 9:52, we stop the clock. And stay with the play until the colors separate. Don't be in a hurry to get the ball in. We've got a guy on the sideline standing there with a ball boy. You're going to shuttle the ball in. We'll take care of that. But kicking plays, you've got everybody spread out all over the field. We've got to have eyes on all of these potential situations and not be so worried about getting the ball or getting the ball relayed in until everything separates out, and then we can take care of that.
Yeah. Yeah, good point. Yeah, for sure. So Tom, let's reset our call. Let's switch over to film, and this should give anybody in the chat to use the restroom if you need. Type in any questions you may have, anything you want to do there, and then give us less than 5 minutes here, and we'll restart.
Yeah, this won't take long.
Nope.
Perfect.
Let's see, Jacob, you just text me.
I forgot all about that time limit on this thing. I just pay for this, and I didn't even worry about it. So that's my fault.
No, it's okay. I just thought I could set it up and be good. Where is my? Oh, it's over here. Let's see. I don't mind all my emails. Jacob, I see your text. You can go with Tom too. You're gonna get the same. Should get the same information. It's up to you. He might need you over there because there might not be enough guys going over there to fill all those spots. So no worries. Tom's just as if not more knowledge than I got here. So I hope that answers your question. Thanks for bearing with us for just a second, fellas. There's Tom. Email. Let me in, Tom. All right. You hear me, Tom?
Can.
Okay, I got you. Looks like your desktop is coming through there, so we're good over there. I want this to go over here. We'll just put that right there. All right, my screen. Oh, hold on. I need to. Oh, I don't need to. Well, I do need to present to you, Tom. Let me present.
You need to.
I need to present to you.
Okay.
Where'd that go? Here, present. All right. They can see YouTube can still see my screen, but
okay.
I needed you to be able to see it, so you can see it just fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. Everybody here. Everybody can still hear Tom. Give me somebody give me something, and you can see my screen correctly. I believe I have it done correctly. Oh,
Yeah, if I present my screen, are they going to be able to see that on YouTube, or do you have to do that?
I have to see I have to go view your screen. They're
so you have to.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So we'll just talk about what's on my screen, and I'll move the marker wherever you need to go.
Yeah, perfect.
And I think I didn't get anybody saying yes yet, but I think we'll go here. I think it's fine. Okay, so Tom, we talked about kickoffs and stuff, so let's talk about a regular scrimmage play. Let's talk about where and what we should be lining up and doing. So my wing here is doing why does he have his arm up here, Tom?
Okay, the wings are basically on the ball. I like him a little wider than this guy. I'd like him off the field. And he has got his arm out, he's punching back, indicating the widest guy is off the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
And so basically, the first thing we do is count everybody. Back judge, you will count the defense. Umpire in the white hat will count the offense. The wings will count the team on their side. Okay. And you cannot overcount enough, because the 100 times it doesn't matter are not going to outweigh the one time you let them play with 12 if something bad happens. So once that count is taken, now the wings look at the widest player on their side, and if he is on the line, they don't do anything. If he's off the line, he's punching, because the wings are responsible for illegal formation. And the way to do that is we count the backs. Okay. In 8-man, you can have 3 guys off the line. In 11-man, you can have 4 guys off the line. So we see 1, he's off, 2, 3. The other wing is looking at that. Now, if the other wing is also punching, now we got 4 backs. That's a foul. That's an illegal formation. We should have 2 flags on the ground at the snap.
No, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, okay. This is 8-man. Okay. So yeah, okay. So this is 8-man. Let's clarify that. So yeah. So if this guy over, if there's happens to be another guy on this side, and he is off as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there wouldn't be a guy. But say this halfback's over here, or this tight end is out here, and he is punching off as well. Boom, we have a red flag. We need to count. We need to say, hey, we got too many men in the backfield type of thing. And if either one of these guys were close enough, just make them legal. If he's 2 yards off the ball, you can't make him legal. If he's, say, a step or 2 or whatever the case may be, you can go, I got you on, and put your hand down, and then that way you can make it legal, and then just inform the coach that, hey, I could have easily just made this guy off as well. Let's make sure we talk to him and know, because that's just a mistake. And you're going to get those a lot early in the year of who's on, who's off. They're not trying to gain an advantage. It's just more of a I don't know type of foul. Like, oh, I thought I was the X. Oh, I thought I was on. Oh, or whatever the case may be. So if
the lower the level, the more they're going to be confused.
Yep.
High school kids are pretty good, and if you're working the wing spot, you never tell them get on or get off. You tell them what they are. I've got you on, I've got you off, because you don't know if they're supposed to be on or off.
Correct. Yeah.
If you're trying to make this kid legal and you say you got to move up, you don't know. Maybe he would. All of a sudden now this other guy on the other side moves up. We moved him up. We made the next guy ineligible, and screwed up their scheme. So never tell them what to do. Tell them what they are. I've got you on, or I've got you off.
Perfect. So
and it's just the widest guy. Now, if you have 2 of them off, then you punch back just like this guy's doing, but hold them out 2 fingers. Mm-hmm. That indicates to your partner, I got 2 off on my side.
Yep. And then as soon as your partner recognizes it, and you look over, you make eye contact with him, and you both kind of give a head nod or whatever the case may be, you can drop that, because we don't want your arm up the whole time. We don't want it up and then, say snap real quick, and then we got a throwback, and your mind's going, oh shoot, what do I do? And you try not to move, and your arm's still up, and the ball's thrown, and it looks like a backward, it looks like you're giving the signal for backwards pass. So try to get that early. Try to get that. I got, my arm up, look at my partner. Yep, my guy's off, your guy's on. Great. We got 3, we got 4, whatever the case may be. We drop our hand, and then we just officiate. We don't have to worry about the formation unless they shift. Then we look at our part, are we still good? Kind of give eye contact, good, not good, that type of thing. So let's move over.
You
here.
can also,
go ahead.
The wings can also get on the 0-2-0. Over here, I got number 4 off. Maybe the wing on the other side, I got 17 off. Yeah, we got a foul at the snap. Illegal formation is a foul at the snap. It's not like a false start that you shut down right away.
It's a live
they can always
foul.
fix,
yep.
right up to a snap. It's a live ball foul, right?
Yep. It's a live ball foul. So essentially, that's where the free play can come into for the defense. So they have a chance to intercept it, cause a fumble, get a sack, whatever the case may be.
Right.
Yep, it is a live ball foul because they have the opportunity up until they snap it to fix it.
Yep. Exactly.
We're gonna and that's a big one. You need to make sure you know if you're a winger, first time winger. Make sure we know, do your best, your absolute hardest to not throw that flag. We want to make them legal the best we can and communicate, hey coach, somebody's doing something wrong, or you guys had 5 in the backfield. I was able to make him legal on that one. Talk to one or figure out who needs to be on, who needs to be off. I don't want to throw this flag. The goal for an official is to not throw your flag. It's to, sometimes you have to. Obviously, there's just certain ones that just require it. And that's okay too. But if we can prevent it, let's prevent it. So let's move to umpire, Tom. The umpire lines up, I think it's 5 to 7 yards or 6 to 8 yards off the ball, which I think he's in a good spot. This team must run a lot because this is a safety. Your linebackers are in here, right? Are on the second level. You're usually behind the linebackers in front of the safety, but he's clearly walked up, which is fine. That happens in some 8-man and some heavy run offenses. The defense will stack that box. So we just want to be where we have a direct line to the ball. So I can see the ball, and I keep my guard, center guard, right? I keep my 2 guards in my peripheral vision, or just kind of open my vision up and try to see everybody. But you have to be able to see the ball for a snap infraction. If he moves it, picks it up, all that kind of stuff. So if you need, and then next play, I'll move over here. I'll move over to the other side as long as I still get a line of sight. And sometimes you might move in the perfect spot. You can see the ball, and then all of a sudden this linebacker shifts. So you might have to take a step or two to the right or left to make sure you can still see the ball and know, because if something happens with that ball and that defense goes, no, the ball moves, and the wingers might be blocked by a hand or a head or something like that. You have to be able to come in and get snap infraction or somebody guard, center guard simulating the snap for a false start. If he's moving, if he's adjusting, he's breathing, whatever the case may be, and the defense isn't reacting, sometimes I'll just be like, hey man, like, you got to be careful picking, moving your hand, moving your butt, whatever the case may be. But if the defense reacts, you got to know why they reacted. Is it just because of they're undisciplined and they jump early? Is it because the ball moved? Is it because the hand flinched? So just know what you gotta know why it happened, right? Be able to explain why it happened. Does that sound fair, Tom?
Before you leave that, Zach, it's really important. And if you're umpire, like, obviously Zach just covered it, wings, referee, the offense can move. You're going to hear they moved. Do you want to go over the philosophy, Zach, of what movement pre-snap is legal and what's a foul?
Yeah, so essentially just keep in your mind, did it simulate a snap? Did he make a nobody's going to make a pointing motion and at the snap. What is that lineman or receiver going to do? They're going to start running, and they're trained to do it as quickly as possible, to make fast movements, to get ahead of the defense, right? If that is what they're doing, then they're trying to illegally start. If they're simulating the snap, maybe their foot comes forward, but that's what he would do at the snap, then that's how I classify it in my brain. Is that a movement that they would do at the snap, or to intentionally draw them off sides, like a ball twitch, Like sometimes the center will twitch the ball to the left or the right to try to get the ball, or to get somebody to jump, and that's why you got to be able to see the ball. So simulating the snap, if you can just remember that, because that was a big one for me. Once somebody goes, hey, did they simulate the snap and get a defensive reaction? No, or yes, or whatever the case may be. And I've told coaches before, he'll come up and go, hey, he's jumping, they're false starting. And I'll go, hey, and I don't have a defensive reaction. I'll go, coach, who told me it wasn't a false start? Your defense. They didn't move. So that tells me it didn't simulate the snap. If it was a simulated snap, your defensive would have reacted. And so it can vary on the movement can be very little, but it's a reaction, depending on how close he is to the ball. So I think if you just remember, did it simulate the snap? Did it gain an advantage? Did it put the defense at a disadvantage? That's a good perimeter to go with. So Tom, we covered the other wing because it's the same as this wing. Let's talk about back judge. Back judge starts 25 yards off the ball. And when you get inside the 25, when we're outside the 25, we're inside the 30, outside the 25, you want to start on the goal line, correct?
Yep.
And then when you move inside that 25 yards, you want to move to the end line, or the back line. Yep. The end line, whatever you call it.
Yep.
Because it keeps everything in front of you. It's easier to move forward and keep your eyes that direction than try to move backwards and find out the hard way that pad on that pole doesn't protect as much as it should, right? So you wanna be there so you can move your body and keep coming forward if you need to come forward. You never want to backpedal if you can avoid it. And in this case, this back judge is not in the right spot, right? So we're goal line 5, 10, 15. We're at about the 17-yard line, and he's not even to the goal line. So we don't want that, because this is an easy fade over here, and we need somebody to see if his toes touch the end line back there. So go ahead and just start back there, and you can come up if it's a run and you need to come up. And our wingers are coming down. So just that goes back to reading our mechanics, right, that Tom led off with. Yep. Know where we need to line up, because if we're in the right spots, our eyes will do the rest, right? We can justify, maybe you missed a call, maybe you didn't, maybe your judgment was one or the other. It could have went the other way. But if you're in the right spot, our judgment increases significantly of getting those calls correct.
Back judge, the elevator version of back judge, don't get deep and read the quarterback's eyes. Yeah. That's, if you can do those two things, you're going to be fine.
Perfect. So I'm going to run some plays. I want, should you communicate to the inside man if they're off the ball? So yes, Jacob, as a winger, I'm assuming you mean winger. Tommy says, should you communicate to the inside man if they are off the ball? So what I do when I'm wing, and you can give yours after this, Tom, is I look at the outside man first, and I tell him what I have him. I got you on, and then if the inside guy's looking, I'll go, I got you off. Or if he's just not looking and he knows he's off, I don't say anything. But if they're both the same, right? I try to make sure the outside guy hears me. Hey, I got you both on. I got you both on. Like I try to say, at loud, and so the coach hears me, so the players both hear me. Like somebody, because unless it's a run, if the inside guy's on and the outside guy's on, he's covered up. Especially if they're both on, he's an ineligible receiver. So if it's a pass, like, you got a problem. So if I've had it where I've had a game, Tom, where I was on the wing and I was telling him, hey, I got you on, I got you on, I got you, or I got you on, I got you both on. Like, and the kid didn't listen to me, ran down the field and scored a touchdown about 40 yards. And the coach was right behind me going, no, God dang, he was throwing a fit. He told you, and he just
That's
didn't listen
cool.
to me. So it's like, hey, I'm trying to go back to, I want to prevent this. Help me, help you. Like, it was just a younger kid. He didn't understand. He got it corrected and he got it figured out. He came back later and I said, I got you on. He stepped off and we were good. So it's all about communication with that, Jacob. We want to just, again, like what Tom said, tell them what they are. Like, if they both come out and they're both on, I go, I got you both on, I got you both on, and they both look at me and shake their head yes. I go, okay. Like, you know what play you're running, you know what formation it's supposed to be. Then okay, like
Some teams will do that on purpose.
yeah,
They'll have both guys on to have something else going on the other side.
yep, and that's fine if they know they're both on. That's fine. I'm just gonna tell you what you are. And if they're both off, and I'll do the same thing if they're both off, and it makes it 5 in the backfield. I got, you got 5 in the backfield. I got you both off. Like, are you, like I try to be as open and blatant as I can, and I do it. And if coach has a problem with it, I do it for your team as well, coach. I'm gonna give you guys the same grace and the same, help essentially. The same communication as I'm doing their team. So, Tom, do you do anything different than other than what I said?
Nope.
Perfect.
Nobody 5-yard fouls.
5 yard
5-yard fouls a game.
So 5 yard fouls mess up a game. Yep.
If you can put them on, if you can prevent, if there's a blade of grass between them, yeah, coach, he was off. Like him off a little more. But
right.
That is so preferable to now we have to enforce a penalty for a nothing burger.
Yeah.
We know we're covering these guys. Let's make them eligible and try to fix it.
Yep.
If you want to go to play 24, I think I've got a real good look at an illegal formation. If you can find it on that list.
You don't have a play 24?
You went past it. Yeah.
I got it.
Okay.
All right. Let's play some film here for the next. We'll go for about another, 28 minutes. Tom. We'll make it about an hour and a half. And
as long as I'm here.
I know. I don't want to keep everybody's night, but we've talked enough. Let's watch a little film here. Okay, Tom, go ahead. Take us through it.
All right. There we got four. We've got four backs. You can see that they're circled. This wing on the near side is punching off. We got quarterback and the running back here, and this wing back. So that is what we're talking about. That would be an illegal formation at the snap.
I think.
Now this dude could always step up. This guy in the slot could always step up and make it legal. That's why you don't flag it till the snap.
Mm-hmm. So this is an 8-man game, he should say. So if it's 11-man, 4 is fine. In 8-man, it needs to be 3. So let's clarify that this is 8-man. So you can only have 3 backs in the backfield. So we have this guy. We have our line judge punching the winger off, and then our quarterback and our running back, and then in the judgment of the head linesman here, this guy is too far back into the backfield. This guy might even be too far back in the backfield. He kind of looks.
Yeah, we might have 5.
Yeah, we might have everybody off here, but in that case, if you can make this guy legal for one play, right, and go and tell the coach, hey, or tell the umpire at this point, or the referee, go over your 0-2-0 and say, hey, the right tackle or the right guard, whatever the case may be. If you have his number, great, and give hey, right tackle White 78 is close to being in the backfield. Tell him to move up. And then I myself or Tom, the referee, would come up and be like, "Hey man, you're getting a little far back. You might get a illegal formation here. You need to move up a little bit." And and he's probably just okay, and he'll take a half a step. He might move back, whatever the case may be. But then when we do that, we want to tell the head coach as well. So that way, when we do flag him for it later, when he does move back, or if he does, the coach knows, hey, we tried. We told him, we told you, we told, grandma, like, he's in the backfield. Just like, so that goes back to our communication. We have to be great communicators in what we see, what we want. And, we're there to work with the coaches and work with the kids, not against them. Help him. He doesn't mean to be in the backfield. He's just trying to. This guy's kicking his butt all game, right? He's just trying to get a few extra steps. We just got to make him legal. Just use our tools that we have to make him legal. Is that what you had on this play, Tom? Yep, because that guy pass rushed. So what we talk about here is the advantage gained. Why that's a foul. So if we watch our big man here, right? He is pass rushing, so he's already 2 steps deep on his drop step, on his pass pro. So he's already set up before that end can even get there, gaining that advantage. That's what the end advantage we don't want to give him.
Yep.
Okay, so
go to 26, will you, Zach? Yep. Kind of the same thing. I mean, I keep harping on illegal formations. We've got to get the common stuff, okay? We've got to get false starts. We've got to get encroachment, illegal substitution, illegal formation every time. Some of the exotic stuff, holding, we'll talk about that. But the basic things that happen every game, we've got to be solid gold on. Now this should not happen. Okay, 24 here. The guy in the ring. This guy is covered. I guess I'm pointing. You can't see what I'm pointing.
You're good, right? I got you.
He's covered. Okay, the wide receiver on his side of the field is on the line. This dude is ineligible. You can see the wing is not pointing this guy at all. Okay. And the defense, based on formation, is going to dictate their coverage. All right? Go ahead and play it, Zach. See what happens. That just shows the keys.
Yep. So our let's back it up. Boom. Let's watch him. We're going to want to do. So we're watching our guy here. Oh.
Yep.
Watching our guy here. Boom. He comes down. Boom.
Not a foul. Yeah. Now it is.
Boom. So.
And we.
Why is that a foul, Tom? What foul is that, and why is it important to get?
It's an ineligible man downfield. 24 is covered. He's not by position eligible. Mm-hmm. He goes downfield, and when the ball crosses the line of scrimmage, when the pass crosses the line, it becomes a foul.
Okay, but he didn't do anything, Tom. Like, he didn't block anybody. He didn't do anything. What purpose did he? What purpose does that foul serve?
The advantage is they're not covering him.
Right.
Okay. Right. By formation, he's ineligible, so the defense is not going to cover him. He's covered up. He can't go out. So now, they've got an extra receiver that's not permitted by rule.
Right. And so what else does what the other thing that he does is they might if you got a smart defense, okay, he's covered. I'm not covering him. If you don't necessarily have a guy who recognizes that and he just goes out, boom, what happens? He follows him. He draws coverage right there. This guy, number 5, came off of another responsibility to guard an ineligible receiver. Yep. So he not only shouldn't be out there, but he's also drawing coverage, which is part of the confusion or deception that we don't want. So yeah, he didn't catch the ball. The ball didn't go to him. Was a bad play, but he drew coverage, and so we want to know that 20, in your brain you go 24 is ineligible, 24 is ineligible. You turn around and he's all the way down the field. It draws coverage. It messes with that, and that goes along with back to communication. We just communicate that with the red team and say, hey, 24 was covered up. My guess is he's not supposed to be, right? Your tight end was covered up. You might want to fix that because, or, we want that foul, but just in, you know what I mean? Am I saying that? Does that make sense? I don't know if I'm making sense.
Yeah, we've got to have that. That's an egregious thing. That's like somebody, jumps off sides or false starts and we don't call it. That's, those are those common ones that happen all the time. Illegal formation, we absolutely have to have every time. I mean, that's the kind of play that gets sent into Nate.
Yep. Boom. Okay. So every kick is an onside kick until proven otherwise. Always expect something weird to happen on kicks. All the weird shit happens on kick plays. Whether that's free kicks, scrimmage kicks, it doesn't matter. All the weird shit happens on kick plays. Okay? Boom. Early onside kick. Perfect. So we're here. We go 10 yards. Does the ball go 10 yards? Boom. What should we do? What should we do here? What do we want our umpire to do this year, Tom? We need to bag that, correct? That is the spot of first touching. We want the bag. We want the spot of first touching, bagged, a bean bag, as for enforcement spot.
First touching's by the kicking team, so we wouldn't bag it unless the kicking team touched it.
Oh, okay. So we don't need to bag that. Okay, that makes sense.
Nope,
I am talking the other direction.
Not that one.
Boom. Okay.
Get in there and sort it out.
Yeah. So sorry about that. I didn't mean to. I guess I was confused there for a second. So when a scrum happens like this, Tom, what's a good this official comes in. What's one thing we should be doing here, 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 and here? We have one guy killing the clock, right?
Okay. We got to come in, kill that.
Now
we're watching.
Everyone should be killing the clock. All of our other officials should be killing the clock, right? So now in here we got to get into that pile and just keep using your voice. We don't need to. Please don't blow the whistle when you're that close. Use your voice. Hey, plays over, and just start moving guys back. Just telling them back up, and then look to who has the ball, right? And you don't know if that ball's changed hands 7 times. It's who has the ball when you see it. I mean, unless as you're running in and you saw blue firmly in possession and with a knee on the ground, you should be signaling down towards the ground as you run in. If you, in this case, he honestly doesn't know, run in there and just keep using your voice and telling them you're there. So hopefully no other crap happens, and figure out who's got it. Right? He comes in, boom, he sees it. He sees blue has the ball. He comes up and gives the signal. And for heaven's sakes, please remember which way to point. If you don't remember and you're in the moment and it's kind of like a lot going on, just come up and just start yelling the color of the team, blue ball, blue ball, blue ball. I start yelling, and then that gives me a second to think about, oh shit, which way was blue going? Because sometimes, you get in the heat of it, and they're all jumbled. You kind of forget, especially as a new official. Like, I get so amped up, like, oh crap, we have an onside kick. Oh crap, we have a fumble. Oh yeah, blue ball. You don't want to come up and point white, and then go, no wait, blue was going the other direction, and then we point the other way. So
It's easy to get turned around in there.
yeah,
Don't worry about coming out, and getting that TV time and the big dramatic point. Like that, it's a great point. Use your voice. Blue ball, then we'll figure it out. Also, be careful as you're unpiling them. Those guys come up hot. You can get a helmet right in the face.
yeah, yeah. That's
So use your voice, use proximity, but be don't do anything get hurt in there. Don't get a helmet in the head, and it's easy to get turned around in that pile.
this guy does this guy does great a great job.
I,
I think I went to the wrong next play. So this guy does a great job, right? Boom, kick, sees it, instantly starts running in there. Boom, we need to kill the clock.
Kill it.
Right? Everybody else should be killing the clock. The clock does stop. We do have time that comes off. That is important. Boom, he knows which way we're going. We point. Boom, he grabs the ball, takes that ball and just instantly puts it down. And then we can take a breath, get a new ball if we need it. Set it up, get the chain set up, and then communicate with everybody else what you got, and then go on from there. I thought that was a good job of that official doing that.
That was a real good job.
Okay, Tom. So you are asking what on this one about a pop-up kick?
I'm saying that the back judge, we talked about a pop-up kick.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think this probably is, but know that it's not.
Yep.
Have an opinion. Nope, didn't go high enough. We're good. I'm not killing it. Rather than, ooh, is that a pop-up kick? I don't know.
And a great thing
just make sure.
Yep. And a great thing to look at when you think, ooh, is that a pop-up kick like Tom said? Watch these guys right here. Watch where their helmets go. Right? They didn't go up. They're not looking at the sky. They're looking at who's coming, and they can see the ball kind of eye level. That's not what we want as a pop-up kick, right? He was trying to squib it. He was trying to roll it so it would pop. It just didn't pop. But that rule's in there to protect our line right here, right, from getting creamed. Because these guys already know what's going on, right? They know that it's going to be a short kick and to go get it or to go head hunting. We want to protect our guys right here. So if you're ever in doubt, look at them and they'll tell you what it is.
And when we review penalties, it's kind of maybe a more advanced thing. We have something called a correct no call. I would classify this, if I were grading this, a correct no call. That doesn't mean you don't know what's going on. You took a look at it and didn't make a call, and you didn't make a call correctly. And a correct no call is just as valid and just as important as a correct call.
Okay, so on this one, a couple things on this one. So our kicker's right here. He's the only one back behind 5 yards. So that makes it, if everybody's in front of that line, if everybody's in front of this 35, anybody can kick it. But where he declares himself as the kicker behind that line, he has to be the one to kick it. Okay? So
in back judge, go ahead, Zach.
So yes, let's look at this one over here, right? Is this guy offsides or not? He looks offsides to me from over there. But we also need to know that guy wasn't the guy to kick it. This guy comes in here and kicks it. This guy comes in here and stops. So there's a lot you can shut this down for.
Yep.
We can shut it down for this offsides. We can shut it down for the wrong kicker. And there's a lot to process, but we want that shut down. And because what happens? Shenanigans happen, right? Kick, comes up here, he tries to touch it, he tries to go to the ground, boom, White gets the ball back. Right? We don't want cheap turnovers, and that classifies as a cheap turnover. So back judge, it's really important to know you got something there. If you throw your flag and you come in and you go, I got something, let's talk about it. That's better than giving a cheap turnover.
Kicking downs are when all the funky stuff happens.
Well, and then
We've got
you got to be
16 or 20 players all spread out, and that, and there's 5 of us.
Mhm.
It's tough. You have to have eye discipline.
Yeah, not only during the play but after the play, because a lot of special teams are a lot of second stringers or young guys that don't get the field very often, but they want to go out and hit somebody because they've been getting beat up in practice all week. So whether it's legal or illegal or during the play or after the play, they're going to hit somebody. So let's make sure we watch them. And then, so Tom, you're talking about this grab right in here. I'm going to delete this because I want to see it run all the way through. But I understand where you're looking. So you're looking right here.
Yep.
So you want to know where that started, how that started, and what we're going to call on that. Perfect. That is a great play, because let's talk about a few things there, Tom. Let's talk about the first thing you want to talk about. Go ahead, and then I'm going to add something to that.
Okay. Do we have somebody in? Yeah. If you back up a little bit, is that in chase mode? I couldn't. It's not really, is it?
Nope, I don't see any chase mode.
No.
I have him engaged like right there. So he's right here. I have him engaged already, legally engaged, right? So I think your question is right there where the guy breaks it. So what I would do on this case is essentially you can tell yourself, I have a flag. I have a holding flag right here. If I'm this official right here, I have a flag in my brain. Okay? But do you see how he's already throwing it? I don't know if you can see it as well as I can on my screen. But his hand's up, he's already throwing it. Right? So, but to have a holding foul, you have to gain an advantage, right? So to gain an advantage, you would have to gain yardage. And what happens? Boom. Look at where that tackle was compared to where his flag was. So the same guy that got held made the tackle 2 yards behind the foul. So with a hold, you have a grab and restrict, right? It's a good foul if the guy makes the corner and goes. That's the reason he got there. 44 wasn't able to get off that and make that tackle, right? But where you want to be slow and process things, see the whole play, boom, boom. He's held. Yep, great, he's held. But did he cheat big enough? No. The only thing your flag does there, because you were so quick on it, which is, it's good to have eyes on it, but you want to slow down and process that, because you throwing your flag costs us another 45 seconds, 30 to 45 seconds to come in to ultimately decline the penalty, right, and take it where it's at, right? I mean, I guess on this one you might take it, but you'd give him 2 yards, you'd give him a minus 8 yards, I guess, in this case, if you wanted to accept it. But the purpose of me saying that is just to see the whole play through before throwing your flag. You can go, yep, he's holding him, he's grabbing, restricting, we're at the point of attack. Now does it gain an advantage? And as soon as that guy gets the corner, boom, that's when we want it to come out. But where he never even got to the corner and all that stuff, try to hold your flag so we have the least amount of flags out there that actually impact the game.
Now, if this running back on this same action, if this dude pops out of there and runs down the sideline, now you've got a flag.
Yep, and that's what I was saying. As soon, like, boom, yes, it's a hold, but did he gain an advantage? No, he still made the tackle. So technically, you shouldn't have a holding foul, right? It didn't meet. So if there's four criteria for a hold, right? You have a categorize it, a grab and restrict. Did he do it at the point of attack? Yes. did the running back or returner gain yardage or gain an advantage because of it? The answer is no. Then you shouldn't have a flag. Am I making sense, Tom?
Absolutely. 100%.
So it's okay, and we're probably doing our job correctly if you thought the announcer goes or somebody in the stands goes, "Ooh, that flag came out late." Well, yeah, we needed more of the process. We need more of the picture. We can't judge something. We can't prejudge something, right? We need to make sure it's a foul and why it's a foul. All right, Tom, I'm going to skip some kicking plays, and we're going to move.
Yeah, we've got kicking plays forever.
Yeah, so when we start this play, if you're this is 8-man again. So if you're a back judge in the chat or in the video watching after, or you're an umpire or you're a wing, I want you to look where your keys should be. And then think to yourself, what do I have? What did I see? And we're going to play it a couple times. Then you can go back and watch the play. But I want you to watch where you should watch and think about what you see. So as we go through this, take the kind of mental rep. Boom. We go through. We throw. We turn. Boom, he's coming down. All right. So let's talk about the initial positioning. On this one, I want to watch the back judge. So we talked about this is the same formation, the back judge being on that back line. Let's watch the back judge on this play about why that's important. Look how much movement he does. Back pedal, boom. He's over here. Then he runs all the way over here, right? So he's backpedaling, he's shifting, he's doing all this stuff. If you were on the end line, right, you could easily just run up 10 yards and look straight down the line and be in position, straddle that line. So we don't want all this extra movement. Just the extra movement isn't necessary, and it puts your eyes bouncing. It kind of puts you in a bad spot.
Yeah, and this was kind of a bone of contention with back judges. I think it was a point of emphasis a year ago that they said it's too far back to be on the goal line. Mm-hmm. And the way it was explained, well, you don't have to stay there on the end line. I'm sorry. Yep. You don't have to stay there. You start out there, and it's much easier to run up than it is to try to backpedal and not get beat deep.
Yep, for sure. All right, same thing. We'll do a couple more here, and we'll be done for the night. And if you guys have any questions, please post them in the chat. Look at your position. Know, like, if you're a wing, even if you're on the short wing, look over here, or the line judge, or the head linesman, or the umpire, or the back judge, right? Your back judge, you're over here, you're in here, center here, we're signaling here. And then boom. We watch, right? So the R is cleaning up this, know what happened. Boom, we come in here. Umpires, we don't necessarily need to kill the clock on a first down. Both of our wings are doing it. We stopped it for a first down. Tom, I just remembered that I wanted to end on one thing. Let's talk about penalty reporting. So if I have, let's do the easy ones, and let's say I have a false start. So I'm gonna say it as an umpire as I would report to you as the referee. I throw my flag. I see my guy move. I throw my flag. I stop the clock. I'm killing the clock, blowing my whistle. Look around. I take one quick peek. I don't have anybody else with a flag down. I give you the preliminary. I roll my hands, and then I'll come over my 020 and say false start, offense 67. Or full start, offense 67. And that on an easy one, and then I just go and pick up the ball and start doing my penalty enforcement. Is that what you want to hear as a referee on just a non-complex every game foul? it can be just that simple, right?
Yeah, and most of them are. Most of the time, you got false start, you got illegal formation, you got encroachment. If you just have one flag, you can give a preliminary signal. So Zach has a guard jump into the neutral zone. He's throwing and blowing. He's just going to give me, as he looks around, there's not two flags down. That's really all I need, okay, on something like that. If there's two flags down, if Zach could have a flag on that, if our H would have a flag on that, then you got to talk.
Yep. Then I'll run over, in our case, I'll run over to Mike and say, hey, Mike, what did you have? And he'll go, I had the guard moving. Okay, perfect. I have the same thing. And then we'll just turn and we'll report to Tom over the O2O. Tom, false start, 78 offense. And then we'll go and start our penalty enforcement. Now let's say Tom, that we go and we have same thing for encroachment. If you're a winger, you can give the signal, preliminary signal if you're the only flag down. Say encroachment, defense, 78, and then 5-yard penalty, whatever the case may be. And then so let's talk about holding. So if I have a holding foul that says on this play, like say we classified this as holding, right? We have, for whatever reason, this was holding. It was at or behind the line of scrimmage. I'm going to throw my flag just behind the line of scrimmage. I don't need the correct spot on that. So if I see holding, I just get it behind the line of scrimmage and I know it's previous spot. So I'm going to look. I'm the only one down with it. I'm going to come and tell Tom, I have holding offense number 35, 10 yards from the previous spot. I'm giving you all that information. That's how I phrase it. So that way you know that it's just going from the previous. It's not a spot foul because it's behind the line of scrimmage, at or behind the line of scrimmage. So I just try to give you all the information as simple as you would report it. Holding, 78 offense, 10-yard penalty, replay second down, whatever the case may be. And then over the O2O, when you say it, everybody knows who it's on, what it is, where we're going from. But say this hold happens, out here, right? In front of the line of scrimmage. I'm throwing my flag as close to that spot, not necessarily where the players are, but I want to get close and know where I'm going to go, because it's going to be, I'm going to come to you on that play. I'm going to say, hey, Tom, I have holding 23 of the offense. It'll be 10 yards from the spot of the foul. We were in front, so I'm going to, and as a new official, I'd come up and tell you, hey, I might not know all that as a new official on my first holding call, but as a new official, I'm going to run up and say, hey, a common phrase we use, is your flag good? So we'll throw it, and if you need to move your flag, go and move your flag to a better spot. Say you're off by 3 yards. Go move it back 3 yards or forward 3 yards. And then go, yes, or I have holding 23, my flag's good. Like you can tell your referee, my flag's good. And then that way your umpire or somebody else will go, okay, that's a spot foul. We're going back. Am I accurate on that there, Tom?
Yeah, 100%.
And then, so it's important to get your flag in the right spot if needed, right? If it's a false start, you just kind of throw your flag backwards. You don't need it. If it's a holding foul behind the line of scrimmage, just flag behind the line of scrimmage. But just try to know the information when you go to your referee and say, hey, this is what I have. If you don't know all the logistics of it, as especially your first few games, that's okay. Just go in and say, hey, Tom, I have holding, and you might need to clarify on the offense, right? The defense can hold, so we want to clarify holding on the offense, and then just give him where the foul occurred, in front of the line or behind the line, and then we'll work with you to get you where you need to go. But it takes some time to practice some of that, and I would encourage some of you to, say you threw a flag, pick a number, pick a yard line, pick where it happened, watch a game on, NFL preseason game, and go, in high school, if I threw that flag holding right there, where would it go? How would I report it? Is it from the previous spot? Was it behind the line of scrimmage? Is it in front? Do I need to be a spot foul? So the spot foul is also important to know vertically and horizontally. So we need to know the ball position 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we also need to know where, what yard line it occurred on. And I know that's a lot to process, but if you can just get your flag as close to that spot as possible, your other crewmates should be able to help you. And then for me, it took a slow process of, oh crap, my flag does matter where I put it. The lateral position does matter where I put it. If it's a previous spot, we just go back to where the ball was, which umpires should have that marked on their hand. But if it's a spot foul, if you just get your flag in the best spot, your crew should be able to help you out and just try to take a breath. You have 30 to 45 seconds. Slow down. And I know it's a lot when you throw your first flag, but I think, do you have anything to add about throwing your first flag and how to best compose yourself, Tom?
As far as you said it earlier, Zach, if it's maybe a foul, it's not. But if you have a foul, what I like to, and if you're new on our crew, and if I haven't worked with you, I don't really care so much what you call as what you saw. If you say, all right, we have defensive pass interference, all right, tell me what happened. Early contact. Yep. Cut him off, not playing the ball. Okay. It's our responsibility to ask questions. Do we really have a foul? I'm not necessarily saying that I'm going to try to talk you out of it, but I would rather know what you saw, and we'll figure out what the call is.
Yep.
Okay. I'll ask you for the information I need. Okay, Jake, what'd you have? Defensive pass interference, 42, cut off the receiver. All right, what's the status of the ball? It went over his head, got a dead ball. Okay, so once I get that information, you're basically now talking to the referee on enforcement. All right, it's defensive pass interference. We got 15 from the box. Okay, now all three of us are in that conversation. Everybody's cool. We all agree. Now Zach goes to walk it off, and I'll signal it. But report what you saw, maybe rather than what you had. And I got burned on that with a young guy. He had an ineligible downfield, and so I got ineligible downfield number 78 or whatever. Said he was downfield, but it was a running play. So that would have been embarrassing if now we're calling ineligible, and the coach said, what are you talking about? It's a running play. So I'm much more concerned. It can have, that's why there's 5 of us.
Yeah.
And just kind of as a corollary to that, don't wait to speak up until we're driving home.
Yep.
Don't wait to say, hey, that was a running play, Tom. It's like, oh, awesome. Okay. I wonder what time Nate's going to call.
Yeah.
Because he will. And I would rather have much more information than too little.
Yep. I thought that was good
if
advice.
You got stuff to say, tell me.
Yep. And say it. And if we answer the question, great. You at least asked. Say, hey, isn't it this? Well, no, it's because of this. Okay, great. And you could be wrong, but you could ask the question. And if you didn't ask the question, and you come later and you go, oh shit, I was thinking that. Well, you ask the question next time. But yeah, just come in and communicate what you saw. And that is a great advice. Just come in and tell us what you saw. grab your referee who's been around the block a little bit, and come in and say, this is what I saw. I don't exactly. You might not know what it is or how to enforce it, but you can classify it. Hey, I have defensive pass interference. He cut him off, and then we'll figure the rest out. Yeah, just trust your eyes, trust what you see, and then we'll go from there. But Tom, I think we'll end it here and let it go. And if you guys liked this, and we can certainly do it again, we can continue to throw up more plays and talk more film after we got through the mechanics talk tonight. We can go through mechanics. If you guys have questions, either shoot us a text or shoot us a message in the chat box here if you're watching this not live. Or text me, text Tom, text Sean, and we all communicate. We can come back on here if you like this. We can keep doing it. And Tom and I, this is kind of what we do throughout the week, and watch and talk to ourselves. We talk football to death. So you're never bugging us when you reach out to us and say, hey, what about this? Or if you get a game and you get a huddle clip and you send, you can see the huddle clip up here in the top. Huddle play number 66. Give us your week. Give us your game. Give us a play number. Say, hey, can you take a look at that? We'd love to do this every week or every other week. And if you got plays, questions, anything, please bring them up to us. That's what we're here for. I had a ton of guys help me. Tom, I know you've had a ton of guys help you. Still do. And if we don't know the answer, we'll figure it out and we'll work to it together. But thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate you spending an hour and 40 minutes with us. We could talk to death, so we'll try to end it here and get back to our night. But thanks
just to not prolong this any longer, but I'm going to for a minute. Every one of these things that Zach and I have mentioned, that the things that might help you, I know because I screwed them up.
Yeah, me too.
I can tell you, don't come out and point the wrong way, because I'll guarantee you, I've come out and just sold the hell out of pointing something the wrong way. Zach's looking at me like, "What are you doing?" It's like, "Oh, that's not good."
Yeah.
So that's how you learn.
Yep. And if you make a mistake, it's okay. It's okay. We've all done it. We've all been there. Just communicate and we'll talk it through and we'll get better. It's a matter of just not making the same mistake over and over again. And if we can get better, we can train. The more snaps you get, the slower it'll get. I promise you, the first game I had, Jason Ford looked at me and goes, your eyes were as big as dinner plates. He goes, your first time is, in a high school game. And he goes, well, by the second quarter, you seemed like you found, I was like, yeah, it took me a second. So we've all been there. Just, take your time and communicate with us, send us plays, talk to us. That's how we get better. So
thanks for your time, guys.
Yep. Thanks for taking time out with us today. And
appreciate you.
We will see you next time. Bye.